this is PJ with CLK Supplies, and today we're going to be working on a 1997 Buick LeSabre. Now, this is equipped with the VATS keys, and nowadays, I'm shooting this in 2020, the VAT keys are pretty old. And what happens on a lot of these ignitions is the contacts on either side of the chip or the wires, something will break, and although the key turns in the ignition, it's not starting it. Now, you pretty much have two options at this point. You can go ahead and put a whole new ignition in, which is quite involved, or you could put in one of these Gator bypass modules. Now, today we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put one of these bypass modules in place. Now, the first thing that we have to do is we're gonna have to crawl under the vehicle on the inside, and we're gonna have to locate the end of this wire here. Okay, so this ignition is sitting in, the steering column, and then this wire goes down through the steering column and it pops out and connects. Now, there's two types of connections. The first is this standard little connection here. We'll put a little close up on the screen, and the other one is the 42 pin connector. Now, and that one looks like this here. Now, today we got lucky and we actually have to use this 42 pin connector. So if you don't have a vehicle that's equipped with one of these 42 pin connectors, it's really easy. You're gonna find and you'll locate this, and I'll go over that in a minute, and you really just disconnect and then you reconnect. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put in this 42 pin connector. We're gonna hook up this VATS bypass module, and you'll be with me every step of the way. Let's get started. All right, now if we start out right here where this VATS ignition is, all right, at the back of it is gonna be this wire here, and it's gonna run down the column underneath the dash. Now, I already went ahead and I removed this plastic piece. There's 3 or 4 Phillips head screws, and I just have it kind of sitting on the pedals right now. Now, as what you're looking for is this orange wire, all right? And as you can see it's actually right here. Now, on a typical unit, you would just go ahead, chase it to the bottom, to the back of it, and you're gonna find this same clip, all right? You're gonna take a little screwdriver, you're gonna gently pop this wire out, and then at that point, if you were replacing the whole ignition, you would want to pop in the new ignition wire. But in this case, we're going to be using the VATS bypass module. Now, this has nothing to do with the actual VATS key number that's needed for the vehicle, okay? So that's all programmed in the vehicle, and here in a few moments, we'll match that up. Now, since this one is not one of these type of units, we actually have to use this 42 pin adapter, okay? Now, the first thing that you're gonna have to do is locate this unit underneath the dash, okay? And I don't know if you can see here, it has a red 7mm screw on it, and you're gonna have to unscrew that. Once you unscrew it, it's gonna be kind of dangling like this is right here, okay? And as you can see, the VATS wire cables, they hook in right here, these 2 wires. So let me go ahead and I'll walk you through how you can take this apart kind of step by step to make sure you do it right. It does come with instructions. I highly recommend you just kind of look at the pictures and follow the instructions, but we'll go through this here really quick. Now, once you have that 7mm bolt disconnected, okay, and you have that whole wire harness kind of hanging in your hand, like I just had a minute ago, you really need to follow these step by step and take this apart, okay? It's real difficult to show underneath the dash, but you want to go ahead and follow these steps to the point until you have the extension plug right here hooked into it, so you can hook up this VATS bypass module. Now, when you follow that ignition wire right here down to the bottom of it, and it just has a plug like this, well, you're just gonna unplug it, like I said, and just plug this one in. It's really simple. Adding this 42 pin extension plug is by far the most difficult part of this whole process. Now, after you have this 42 pin connector hooked up, now what we have to do is we have to actually connect the actual bypass module, and you're really just gonna push this in and clamp it together and be done, okay? Now, before you do that though, we have to set the actual VATS key number on here. Now, I'm gonna take the customer's existing key right here, and I'm just gonna use the VATS key reader. You can use an ohm meter if you like. I should probably do a separate video on how you can read those. And we're just gonna go ahead though and just stick it in here and see what number it gives us. So it's gonna give us a number 2. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right here to this bypass module, and we're gonna look here, and you're gonna see these numbers 1 through 15. Now, all of them in the down position, that means that they are off, and you can see that little on right there. That means that one is on. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take this here, this little key, and I'm just gonna pop up the number 2 just like that. So that's how you're gonna set the VATS number on this. Now, a longhand version of this is after you hook it up and you don't know the VATS key number, is you could go one at a time, you know, through here, you know, wait 5-6 minutes in between you trying it and find the number that way. But that's a really longhand version. Hopefully you have a key and you can read it and then just set it this way. Once you have this set, you're going to want to go ahead and put the cover on, put the screws on, and we'll get this connected. Okay, so I went ahead and I put the little back plate on, put the 2 screws in. Now at this point, we're gonna hook this up, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and pop this in here. Just like that. Now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna plug this main unit back in here up top, or I shouldn't say plug in, I'm gonna screw it back in with that 7mm screw. And then this bypass module came with a couple zip ties, and I'm gonna zip tie it up here out of the way. Now, as far as this wire goes, that's going from the ignition, this wire doesn't really matter. I'd probably just zip tie it up with this one here, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I went ahead and I screwed that 7mm screw back in with that wiring harness, got that back in place, and as you can see here, I have one zip tie almost complete here. At this point, I'll go ahead and pop up the other side, put the other zip tie on, and go ahead and put this black plastic piece back together. Okay, so I have everything put back together, got that plastic piece put on. So at this point now, all of the VATS communication is being done under the dash, okay? So this ignition here has now just turned into a just a key cylinder that you would turn to start the vehicle, okay? So you could still use the VATS key, it doesn't matter, because the car is no longer picking up the VATS ohms reading from the key. It's now picking it up from that bypass module. So you could go ahead and cut like a B62 key like this, and it would start the vehicle no problem, because all the VATS now is underneath the dash, and this is just a key cylinder. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.